This man bought a license plate for a car at a low price and thought he had made a profit, but a terrifying scam was hidden behind it, and on a new day, the Rainbow Taxi Company faces a new challenge again. This day, Zhang Dibiao meets an old acquaintance of his, Wu Siji, and Wu Siji used to drive for the company, but now he drives a private taxi, and when he comes face to face with Zhang Dibiao, Wu Siji feels embarrassed and asks to borrow money from him. And when Zhang Dibiao hears that Wu Siji needs cash, he suspects that something is not right, but he still warmly agrees to give him the money after the bank opens the next day. The next morning, Zhang Dibiao withdraws money from the bank, but just then Wu Siji calls to inform him that he no longer needs the money, and Zhang Dibiao realizes that something is wrong and quickly goes to Wu Siji's house, and Wu Siji's daughter says that her father was in an accident while working as a driver last night and has just had an operation, and Zhang Dibiao is a bit surprised, and he knew that Wu Siji had been driving a private taxi since leaving the company, so why did he suddenly start working as a driver? And besides, Wu Siji's daughter shows a divorce agreement signed by her father, and the girl couldn't understand this decision, and realizing that something was amiss inside, Zhang Dibiao rushes to the hospital, but sees that Wu Siji is not in the bed, and the lift floor is stopped on the roof. Zhang Dibiao quickly rushes to the roof and sees the frustrated Wu Siji attempting suicide, and Zhang Dibiao tries his best to calm him down, and promises that he will do his best to help him, and with Zhang Dibiao's comfort, Wu Siji finally abandons his bad thoughts and breaks down crying in front of Zhang Dibiao. Subsequently, from Wu Siji's description, Zhang Dibiao learns the whole story of the incident, and a few days ago, Wu Siji had bought a taxi license plate through a certain car agency, and the price of the plate was much cheaper than the market price, and Wu Siji was initially hesitant, but seeing the agency's president's lawyer's license nearby, he confirmed that he was a lawyer who had passed the judicial examination, so Wu Siji felt relieved and signed the contract. The next morning, his wife cooked him soup before he left the house and asked him to take it with him, and his daughter was preparing for the civil service examination, and Wu Siji was optimistic about the future. But when he turns around, Wu Siji sees that the people from the transport department are removing the taxi license plate he bought, and they inform him that the license has been cancelled because the original owner of the plate was punished for an accident due to drunk driving. And Wu Siji goes to the agency and accuses them of fraud, and clearly, the agency knew that the original owner of the plate had caused an accident, which is why they were selling it at such a low price, and Wu Siji threatens to report to the police, but the agency is not afraid and tells him to leave. Wu Siji goes to the police station to file a complaint, but the police officers couldn't help, and even though the plate was sold, legally it was involved in an accident, so no matter who bought it, the license must be cancelled, and Wu Siji is very distressed, and he had only bought a plate, and subsequently Wu Siji visits the car management office again and inquires, but their answer was the same as the police stations, and actually it is impossible to resolve, and Wu Siji then thinks of the plate's previous owner, but that person is in jail and claims to have no money. Throughout the day, Wu Siji asks as many agencies as possible, but in the end, it is no use, and in the evening, his wife calls to ask how many passengers her husband carried today, and Wu Siji lies that everything is fine, but secretly he was crying while drinking the cold soup, and he feels injustice and unfairness, but had no one to talk to. After learning about Wu Siji's situation, Zhang Dibiao analyzes and understands that the agency bought the soon-to-be-cancelled license plate at a low price and sold it to Wu Siji, and this was clear fraud. And besides fraud, the agency accurately uses the loopholes in the law, making the victims remediless, thereby completely covering up their crime, even though the reality is difficult. Having gone through all this, Wu Siji was still trying to fight and survive, and in the following days, Wu Siji starts working as a driver, and this night, a call comes from the agency, and they ask Wu Siji to pay the high repair cost of an imported car, and Wu Siji quickly goes to the company and asks, and they arrogantly show him Wu Siji's contract from that day, and inform him that there was a clause in the contract which promises the use of the company under a personal name, and based on this clause, the company leased an imported car in Wu Siji's name, and later the car suffered an accident, so they are asking Wu Siji to pay the repair cost. However, Wu Siji clearly remembers that the company did not show him this page of the contract, and the driver condemns these scammers for their shamelessness. And just then the agency brings in some thugs, and the thugs mercilessly beat Wu Siji, and the president steps on the driver's foot and says, "Even if this is a trap created by him, so what? And everything he did was according to the procedure, and if Wu Siji is to be blamed, he should blame his own misfortune." Knowing Wu Siji's plight, Zhang Dibiao and his team decide to help him, and Goun investigates and finds out that the agency's president was indeed a lawyer. But his license was cancelled long ago due to killing someone while driving drunk. Since the president likes procedures so much, Du Ji decides that he too will follow the procedures to destroy this wicked agency, and that night, under the direction of the Rainbow Taxi Company, Wu Siji comes out on the street and starts playing the taxi driver game. And remembering his own experience and the president's hateful face, Wu Siji finally presses the submit commission button of the game. After receiving the commission, Du Ji immediately starts the action driving his model taxi, number 5283, and at the agency's gate, Jiang Mao and Mushroom Head spot a salesman, and they find him quite familiar. And before this, Jiang Mao and Mushroom Head had sold a car, and the man had asked to take a test drive of it, and the two had waited all day, but the man didn't return the car, and this salesman in front is the car thief in broad daylight from that day. Jiang Mao demands the remaining money from the car thief, but the car thief refuses to pay, and tells a fabricated lie, and just then the company president appears, and instructs the thugs to drag Jiang Mao outside. At this time, Goun finds important information, and the imported car that the agency leased in Wu Siji's name is nearby, and the rental cost of the imported car is extremely expensive, and the investigation reveals that the car was involved in an accident, and Du Ji guesses that this car was leased by either a criminal or someone about to commit a crime, and the situation is serious, and Wu Siji must quickly cancel his contract with the agency, otherwise problems and dangers will continue to plague Wu Siji in the future. Du Ji's guess was correct, and the man who rented the imported car was driving wildly on the road, intentionally ignoring traffic lights, and didn't care about hitting anyone. And just as he was showing off his arrogance, Du Ji's model taxi comes and blocks the road. And when the man who rented the imported car comes and challenges him, Du Ji steps aside and backs up, and then with one move takes the man down, and the other two men in the same car pull out knives. And Du Ji pays no attention to these two, and easily snatches the knives from them and subdues them. And inside the imported car, Du Ji finds a rental agreement, and the name of the lessee on the contract was Wu Siji. Initially, Jiang Mao and Mushroom Head wanted to take the car and cancel the contract, but Goun reminds them that the contract for this car cannot be cancelled midway. And hearing this, Du Ji says that he wants to choose a car from that wicked agency, and he wants to return all of Wu Siji's suffering with interest. Meanwhile, another man comes to the agency to buy a car, and falling victim to the company's deceit, the man signs the contract, but immediately after signing the contract, the company demands additional residual value from the man, and the man realizes that this is not right and decides to leave. But the company's section chief demands a contract cancellation fee of the same value from him, and realizing that the company is scamming him, the man wants to call the police. Just then the president arrives and picks up a wrench and throws it at the man, and then he also beats the car thief employee, and plans to blame the car buyer man for the employee's injury. And the president even finds out the man's family situation and threatens to hurt his pregnant wife. Seeing this scene, the man kneels in front of the president, whispering repeatedly to plead, and in the end he is forced to buy that car. Just at this moment, Du Ji enters, and Du Ji was in disguise as a wealthy heir, wearing a suit embroidered with diamonds, and he intentionally scratches the agency's display car and spills coffee on the man's contract. And since the contract is ruined, the contract is cancelled, and with a look in Do Ji-ai's eyes, the man realizes that he has met a savior and quickly states that he will not sign the contract, and then he leaves. Happily, the president asks Do Ji-ai about this damage, and Do Ji-ai throws a bundle of cash down, pretending to be foolish and extremely wealthy, and he promises that he will buy the car that the man had bought and also pay for the car's repair costs. Then Do Ji-ai drives away the car bought at a high price. And although the car was not under his control on the road, and Do Ji-ai desperately turns the steering wheel and tries to avoid other cars on the road. And at the last moment, Do Ji-ai unfortunately meets with an accident. The episode ends here. For the next episode, like, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel.